Star Wars fans, The Mandalorian Season 3 is here, and today we are breaking down the first episode of Season 3. Now, this episode was a great start to the new season, but there might have been a few things in this episode that you might have missed. What's up, guys? It's Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars, and today we're breaking down Chapter 17 of The Mandalorian.
Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time. A long time.
Before we start, don't forget to rank the episode out of 10 in the comments section below, and of course, smash that like button while you're at it. So the episode opens with the armorer making a new helmet for a foundling. Now we see this ritual play out where this foundling is never going to remove his helmet ever again, and this is the last time that any living being is going to see his face. But what's very noticeable about this scene is how many Mandalorian there actually are here. Because in the book of Boba Fett, the last time we saw the armorer and Paz Vizsla, they said that they were the last two remaining, that all the other Mandalorians that were with them on Navarro died. This is the first of many indications in this episode that a lot of time has passed since not only The Mandalorian Season 2, but also the Book of Boba Fett. Now this ceremony gets so rudely interrupted by some giant creature that looks like the cross between a crocodile and a turtle. Now these Mandalorian are trying their best to fight off the threat, but many of them are being eaten by this said crocodile turtle, and their blasters and explosives just aren't doing anything to penetrate the skin. And when it seems like all these Mandalorian are going to end up being eaten by this monster, Din Djarin and Grogu come in to save the day in his N1 starfighter. And although the armorer is thankful that Din Djarin came and saved all of them, she still is mad that he took off his helmet and reminds him, yet again,
"Then you are a Mandalorian no more."
Din Djarin explains to the armorer that he will be going back to Mandalore to bathe in the mines underneath the surface, which, according to their Kree, would allow Din Djarin to be a Mandalorian again. The armorer pretty much tells Din that this is impossible because those mines don't exist anymore, and Din says, "Watch me," as he walks away from the armorer, telling her that he will go to Mandalore and bathe in those mines. The armorer says this is the way as Din and Grogu leave the planet, and while they're in hyperspace, Grogu's looking out his window and sees Purrgil. Now, I'm sure many of you who follow the channel know I'm a gigantic Star Wars Rebels fan, so this was like the greatest thing ever. But in all seriousness, this was the closest connection so far that we've had to Grand Admiral Thrawn and Ezra, because the Purrgil are the ones who took them away in the season finale of Star Wars Rebels. But Din and Grogu come out of hyperspace and they are at Navarro. Din gets to see his good old friend Greef Karga, who is now High Magistrate Greef Karga. And Greef is the leader now on Navarro, and he has created the first self-sufficient trade route in the Outer Rim. And Greef offers Din a plot of land on Navarro. Din declines, saying that he still has a mission to accomplish when they're interrupted by Greef Karga's protocol droid. He says that there's pirates outside, and we get introduced to a pirate named Vane. He is there with other pirates, and they are trying to get into the school, which used to be the bar in Season 1 of The Mandalorian. This doesn't end well for these pirates as Din and Greef kill all the other pirates except for Vane, telling him to go back to his leader, Pirate King Gorian Shard, and tell him that Navarro is no longer available for the pirates. And as Din and Greef are walking back towards his office, Din tells him that he needs IG-11. Now we know what happened to IG-11 in The Mandalorian Season 1.
I must be destroyed.
So the statue that's on Navarro of IG-11 is just the remaining pieces that they could collect of IG-11. And Din explains that he needs a droid that he can trust to help him on Mandalore map out the planet, but also see if it's safe to go. Now what's crazy is there was leaks a long time ago about The Mandalorian Season 3 that Grogu was supposed to be in an IG unit like an Iron Man suit flying around. So maybe those leaks might be true, but we'll have to wait and see. However, when they power up IG-11, his old programming powers on, and he wants to destroy Grogu. And after Greef's protocol droid drops a giant golden statue of Greef's head on IG-11, Din says that he needs to get this droid fixed. So where do they take IG-11 but to Babu frickin' Frick? And in the crawl space that Babu and his friends work in, he tells Din that he needs a new droid. But Din, being the stubborn Mandalorian that he is, says he only trusts this droid and says if he gets the part, can Babu fix him? And he's like, of course I can, I'm frickin' Babu Frick. So Din and Grogu leave Navarro to go find the piece to fix IG-11, and while they're leaving the planet, you get to see Din Djarin trying to teach Grogu how to fly the N1 starfighter as pirates come on the scanners. Yes, of course, it's Vane, the same pirate that he just killed all of his friends. And there's this awesome epic space battle scene with the N1 starfighter versus the pirates' ships, and it's just so cool. But the fight ends when Din Djarin turns around an asteroid and sees a gigantic dreadnought. Now, we've seen dreadnoughts in Star Wars a lot, mostly in the sequel trilogy, but this one is being run by the Pirate King Gorian Shard. Din narrowly escapes Gordian's ship, but I'm sure this is not the last time we'll be seeing the Pirate King. But the episode ends in a very strange way. Din and Grogu pull up to a planet called Kalevala, which is a planet in the Mandalorian system. And Din explains to Grogu that this is a Mandalorian castle, which all sounds very cool, but the castle is pretty much empty, except for Bo-Katan, who sits on the throne. Din is very confused, wondering where her Mandalorian friends are and all of the equipment that he helped her steal, but she said when she returned without the Darksaber, nobody would follow her. Din, of course, who holds the Darksaber, tells Bo-Katan about his plans to return to Mandalore. And like everybody else who Din Djarin tells that he's going to Mandalore, Bo-Katan says it's a really, really, really bad idea. That the planet is cursed and poisoned and that he should never go anywhere near it. But just like everybody else he told, Din Djarin doesn't listen and he's on his way. Now, I thought this episode was fantastic. A great start to Season 3 of The Mandalorian. And if I was to rank it out of 10, I would give it an 8 out of 10. It set up what Din and Grogu will be doing this season, going to Mandalore, trying to find the part to fix IG-11, which I'm assuming is going to be on Tatooine with Pelimoto. And it just set up a lot of exciting things for the season to come, not to mention the Purrgil, which again, I am still so excited about. All in all, a very, very solid start to the third season of The Mandalorian. But tell me what you guys thought about this episode in the comment section below. Are you excited for The Mandalorian Season 3 going down the line? Smash like if you like this video, hit subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video, and my pretty face will show up in the recommended feed of yours. Of course, don't forget to rank this episode out of 10 in the comment section below. Don't forget to come by our live streams every Tuesday and Thursday. Our live stream tomorrow is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want more breakdown videos like this, more leaks and rumor videos, stick around this channel by hitting that subscribe, and may the force be with you always.